Hi, and welcome to Respawn Aimfire's E3 coverage of Day 0. It's like Day 0 today.
No, this is like Day -1, and then the shit we're also talking about was like Day -3.
That's true, yeah. So let's start off this E3 coverage by talking about non-E3 stuff.
Who are we? What is our name? And what do we do?
Chad, you're making this so hard. Respawn Aimfire is our name. I already said at the beginning, didn't I? I'm Holden. This is Chad. You know us. We're just going to jump into
Maybe they don't.
This.
For a person who's listening for the first time, what's our slogan?
We're the kick-ass gaming podcast.
Man, it's been a while since you posted, hasn't it?
Yeah, should we restart this?
No, we're keeping it. Let's roll! Like Jay-Z says, let's roll. I don't know if he's ever said that, but I assume he said it once or twice.
All right. So can we start now, Chad? Are we allowed? I'm the host. We're doing it.
Yes. Now that people know who we are, where can they support us with money?
Oh, yeah. We are on Patreon, which is patreon.com/RespawnAimFire.
I hate that you say /.
Well, someone might think it's a backslash, okay?
Those people
got to be careful
aren't on
and check
internet.
all your boxes. It's important.
Yeah.
We're also on Twitter at symbol RespawnAimFire.
That's
just
shift
piss off
2.
All right. So Pokemon was announced.
So that's the first one we're starting with. We're doing the Pokemon Direct first.
Yeah, we're doing Pokemon Direct first with Sword and Shield. They really kind of opened up and really showed us a lot more about the game. What were your initial impressions, Chad? What did you think of it? Were you hot on the trailer before?
Was I hot on the trailer?
Were you hot on the trailer before?
I was lukewarm on the trailer.
Okay.
Like I dipped my toe in a tepid bath on the trailer. It looked like a little bit more of the same, and I was like, okay, this is just going to be a prettier. And they had some interesting environments, blah blah blah. But then we get into the Direct, and let me tell you, I'm at like 64% erection right now.
I'm pretty much the same boat. Going to the first trailer, it felt more the same. It felt more like, oh, here's a route I'm walking on, and there's a little bush, like a patch of bushes that I can walk through to find Pokemon. Like, that was it. Not grass, patch of bushes. I don't know why I said it like
of bushes.
Not grass. So you can walk through the grass, get the Pokemon. It looked like the same kind of stuff. But then they show that open world area.
The wild area, yeah.
The wild area. And that as soon as I saw that, and then I saw the desert area with the sandstorm, that the sandstorm kind of got in your field of view, so you couldn't see quite as far. Like, all that stuff. Oh, man, it looks great.
Do you know why that gave you a bone?
Why give me a bone?
Because it's Hyrule Field.
Yeah.
It is the open world that connects all the cities.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the Hyrule Field. It's more like Ocarina's Hyrule Field.
Right, exactly. I mean, whenever anyone references anything Zelda, it's Ocarina of Time.
Well, I don't know. Not anymore. It's Breath of the Wild. You're right. That's a boring-ass game for babies.
That's right. Oh, you said it. Yes. I'm very excited about that because I feel like that's going to be a different take on the route system. I feel like that also might mean that we don't have like a linear path that we can go on. It might be a little bit more open-world Pokemon. I'm
curious about that. Actually, I didn't even really... I should say, I'm curious if you're right about that, because I hadn't considered that. Because they've never had that kind of nonlinearity in a Pokemon game before. It'd be kind of cool to go to the... I was like, well, I chose the fire starter, so I'm going to go to the grass area first, if I could. That'd be interesting. And then it scales, like, oh, you've done this gym, so now the Pokemon in the next gym will be, like, 20 or higher.
Oh, yeah. See? Mm-hmm. There's so much potential with this Nintendo game.
What I'm willing to bet, though, is there's still routes. There are still going to be routes. There were still some shots of like more narrow paths. I think what's going to happen is you'll come to an open area and you suddenly can't go into one specific route, and it's blocked by a tree, and you can't go there until you get cut. It's going to be like that.
I don't know.
That's what I'm guessing.
I don't know. HMs are starting to be a thing of the past now.
Well, they still have the techniques of the HMs without having the HMs. So like you basically have a Pokemon that you ride in the water. And it's just something you can call upon at any point. You don't have to give Surf to a Pokemon anymore. So,
but this could be a brand new thing.
It could be a brand new thing, but it's still going to be iterative in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
although like the open world's a big change in a very, very exciting way. There were definitely things in the trailer or the Direct that harkened back to older Pokemon stuff. Like there has to be a new evolution type for some reason.
Exactly. So the big ass ones. I forget what they call them. Dynamax. It essentially, to me, is basically mega evolutions,
Yeah.
But it's instead of making them look cooler, they're just bigger. And they're more restrictive because you can only use them for 3 turns. And apparently only during like gym leader battles or big areas.
Yeah. I was pretty lukewarm on this aspect. I don't really care. It seemed a little weird, honestly. Like, oh, your Pokemon can just grow to the size of Godzilla suddenly.
Yep.
Okay.
Godzilla.
One thing that I'm curious about is how this changes gyms. Gyms now look like they're just like basically they look like a giant soccer field.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's a big part. It's like Pokemon battling is a big part of this world now, so everyone gathers to watch you guys fight.
So when you go to a gym, is it basically just going to be like a boss rush of just like different trainers coming at you until you get to the gym? Like, what's that going to be like? I'm very curious.
Like the Kingdom Hearts Coliseum that you never got to, did you?
Nope.
Oh.
I got to it, never did anything there.
Gotcha. Ooh, that's interesting. I never thought about that because you can't go through like the different puzzles. Oh, maybe that takes all the puzzle out of the stadiums or the gyms. I don't know.
The trials? Oh, they had the
you
trials.
You know how some of them were like puzzles where like you go to Lieutenant Surge and you got to get the right switches in the trash cans and then...
Yeah. I remember that. Really fun puzzles. Usually not.
Yeah, I told you, puzzles suck, Holden. Puzzle games suck.
Pokemon, just the controls aren't designed for puzzles. That's why it's not fun. But anyway.
No puzzles. Sunny in Philadelphia. So yeah, Dynamax, another like new gimmick that's a little bit just a reskin of something else that's older. But something that is new to Pokemon main series is the raids. Do they call them? I forget. Do they call them raids?
I don't recall.
I don't remember. But they're big Dynamax Pokemon on the world. You can team up with 4 people to all take them down. And then one of the 4 of you is also allowed to Dynamax Evolution, which is an interesting choice. You have to choose one person.
Yeah. Someone's going to spam that and piss everybody off. Like, I got it first.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
I think that's really cool. And it's a way to keep the game dynamic and changing because I feel like through different events, they can say, oh, this Pokemon, just like in Pokemon Go, this Pokemon's in raids for the next 2 weeks. Make sure you gather up with people. And what's more convenient is that you don't have to be physically in the same space. So if you and I wanted to partner up and raid, we could do that from across the country. And we don't have to be standing next to each other. Unlike Pokemon Go. So I'm kind of excited for that. I think it adds more playability and kind of extends the life of Pokemon past whatever the metaphorical Elite Four will be at the end of this game.
Or what if the Elite Four is a raid?
Oh, lick up on my balls and call me Susan B. Anthony. Could be.
Yeah, so I'm feeling really good about this Pokemon game now.
Me too.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
There's also a dual pack. Do you see this?
Oh, yeah, you can buy both of them together.
You can buy both of them together for $120, or you can use the Nintendo Switch vouchers for $100 and get both of them. Because they are both available. I wonder if there's a caveat where, like, if you get Sword, you then can't get Shield, or if you get Shield, you can't get Sword with it. I don't know.
Are those games eligible for the voucher?
They are. They are eligible for the voucher, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of made me go, ooh, I should actually get one of those vouchers. That's it's a good deal, actually.
But you don't want to buy both games.
No. You buy a voucher you just pay for $100, and you just get to pick 2 games out of the list.
Yeah, I looked at the list, and it was like, I own all the games that I want from this list already.
Yeah, but I don't have Pokemon yet. They're probably going to put Animal Crossing and Luigi's Mansion 3 and other games on there as well that they don't want to put on that list because they don't have release dates yet.
They probably will in a few days!
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to get one of these vouchers after E3. It's just going to happen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Pokemon. Anything else you want to say about Pokemon other than like, yeah, we're kind of stoked on it now.
The only thing I want to say about Pokemon is that I'd rather talk about Stadia. Let's go to
Stadia. Wait. The legendaries were shown off. The Pokemon for Sword and Shield are literally identical wolves, but one has a shield beard and one has a sword tongue.
Yeah, cool. Let's talk about Stadia now.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset that they're both the same. Like, they're the same Pokemon, but just with that small difference.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? But they both were looking at something else in the trailer. They're like, something's here. And I'm like, ooh, what is it? Oh, maybe
I missed that. I didn't catch
poop. You didn't get that? There was something like in the distance that they were both scared of, maybe? Anyway, yeah. Google Stadia.
Pikachu.
Thursday, Google comes out of nowhere and says, hey, y'all, you want a Nintendo Direct, but for Google, we got a Google Connect, and we're coming in 2 days. And we was like, what? How are we supposed to plan our content around this, Google? You coming out here and surprising everybody up in here.
and then they had a pretty, underwhelming presentation.
What's his name? The guy who presented everything.
Phil Harrison.
Phil Harrison, yes.
Is that his name?
What a boring dude to watch.
I don't think it's his fault. I actually thought he was fine. I just think they didn't have really anything worthwhile to talk about.
They did. They had the Founders Pack, and they mentioned everything that was in it 17 times.
Yeah, it just wasn't. So let's start from the beginning. You're a big Baldur's Gate fan.
I don't know if I would say that. I love Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance.
Okay.
Which is
there a difference?
Yes.
I don't really know.
It's a third-person action RPG set in the same world.
Oh,
Baldur's Gate,
not Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2, Throne of Baal, Icewind Dale, that kind of stuff. They are top-down RPGs. You have a party of 6, but I played most of those with my brother growing up. I don't think we ever finished one. It's a little too slow-paced to be my kind of game.
Okay.
And then I bought it on an iPad when they remastered it as well. And I was like, not quite my game. But maybe whatever they're doing with 3 will be.
Mm-hmm. Well, the good news is you don't have to have Stadia to play it. You can play it on other consoles as well. It's not exclusive.
Right. But it was announced during the Stadia thingy.
Which, throughout the entire event, is kind of my big concern. There's no first-party game that's like Google, or that's at least an exclusive game.
Right.
That makes this stand out.
I kind of felt like we knew we weren't going to see a first-party game because we saw their first studio announcement like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no exclusive game right now, too. That's a big hit.
It's a big hit. And if you think about any time a console has started, they have to have the mascot, if you will. It's got to be like Mario or Sonic or Master Chief. I mean, I guess, Crash Bandicoot, but over time that's evolved to become other franchises as well as Sony. But those mascots give each of those platforms, those consoles, a personality that makes them distinguished from the other ones.
You don't think the Stadia Squiggle is enough of a personality? Here's our mascot, Squiggle.
Squiggle. No game announcements yet, though. But Squiggle will be the main character.
And it's some guy just like horribly misshapen and contorted into an S costume.
Still working out what the gameplay is going to be, though. So there's no game that's going to make him stand out. Therefore, there's no personality that makes Stadia stand out apart from the other consoles. And I feel like it's because they're going for everybody else. But the problem is that everybody else is mobile. That's already been done. Is it like everybody else hardcore? What's the market for that? And I feel like they just don't have anything that makes them stand out, besides the fact that it's easy to get into.
Yeah. Let's run through a couple of the things that they talked about, like speaking to ease of getting into. So you can run it at launch. You'll be able to run it on a TV with Chromecast or through an app. You can run it on tablets. You can run it on Android phones, starting with the Google Pixel 3 and 3A. You can run it on your PC. Was Mac included in that? Oh, yeah, Chrome browser. Anything
it's
with
Chrome,
a Chrome browser. Yeah. iOS, it looks like it's not supported at start, which kind of makes sense.
From a Chrome. They said from any Chrome browser.
They said coming to Android phones and other smartphones in the future.
Interesting. I took it as it's available in the Chrome browser, wherever a Chrome browser is.
I would like to believe that, but I don't think that's going to be the case with iOS.
Interesting. Okay. That's a huge...
Yeah,
that's huge to leave iOS out.
They specifically said other smartphones in the future. I don't know whether that meant like that Stadia app, because the Android phones are going to get an app.
Yeah, the Stadia app's going to come only to the Pixel phones. Yeah. They mentioned like a Stadia app for the Pixel 3 and 3A is kind of how they phrased that, and that was interesting.
But then they announced...
But Chrome browser's fine.
Then they announced the kind of the tiers that they have. So right at launch, they have Stadia Pro, which include... It's $9.99 a month. It includes the ability to stream and play at 4K, 60 frames a second, HDR, if you have a 35 megabit per second or faster download speed. You also get access to kind of a library of games. They get one or two, one periodically. They didn't define the period, similar to like PlayStation Plus or Xbox games with gold. But the subscription is just to access the service at that high quality. And then if you just want to access the service at 1080p, you can do that for free with basic coming after launch. You cannot do that at launch.
Yeah, it's coming out in 2020, which that's the part that confused me the most. I feel like this brought up so many more questions than answers. Why would they do that?
I left it. I watched the entire thing start to finish, and I left it somehow with the idea that the $9.99 was not just to access the service, but it was like a Game Pass thing, where $9.99 also gets you a bunch of games.
Yeah, I took it as Stadia Base is the console, and then Stadia Pro is getting like Xbox Gold. That's how I took it.
Not just Xbox Gold, but Xbox Game Pass, where all the games on Stadia are available to you for $9.99. That's what I left it being with. And then after listening to reactions from people, I was like, oh no, that's not what it is. That's literally just to stream at 4K and get an occasional free game.
Yeah, I didn't get the impression that you can get any game that way. But it is what I'm now confused at is if Stadia Basis means that's how you pay $60 for a game, assuming they haven't officially said it, but it's assuming it's $60 to buy a game there. Why would at launch you need to spend $10 just to then spend $60 to buy a game? Is that what you're saying?
You're spending
like that's so
you're paying $60 for the game no matter what. No matter what version you have, and then you're spending $10 to unlock 4K HDR 60.
This is very on Google to do this.
On Google.
It is
it's
to
not
put a paywall up to their product.
Yeah.
Name another Google product outside of like buying server storage that you have to put a monthly, price down on. I feel like this is the opposite of how it should be, because base is what it should have started off with, to get as many people in as possible. But now you're saying like we're launching with the wall. Don't worry, the wall's going to be lifted next year at some point.
Yeah.
No, open it up immediately to as many people as possible. Or do they want to control how many people are on the platform so that it's going to run well? I'm again more questions.
Exactly, so many more questions. I kind of understand it from a money perspective. Like they have to make money and keep these servers going somehow. And if they give everything out for free and they work on just whatever slice of money they get from the game sales, that's not going to be enough to do it, because they don't have hardware that they're selling that everyone else has. Which I think is why they were pushing the Stadia controller Founders Pack so hard, because they're like, buy the Chromecast, buy our controller. You can buy another controller for $70. You can... so that Founders Pack, it comes with the controller in like a limited navy blue, which looks really nice, actually. It comes with the Chromecast Ultra. It comes with 3 months of Pro, 3 months of Pro to gift to someone else, and the ability to choose your name early for the Google Stadia stuff. Mm-hmm. So that is for $129, which is about half the price of a Switch right now.
Which is a good price.
It is a good price for what that controller is and what you're getting. But you're still getting 3 months of Pro and then have to buy the games extra as well. That's what's just so... I'm so confused by that so far. I did not leave this with feeling like, oh man, I'm definitely going to get Stadia now. I left this going, oh, this is going to become another just entry in the race, and there's going to be a big confusing barrier to entry for a lot of people who don't understand it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what's upsetting the most is they said 2 days before the event, we're revealing it finally. The pricing and how everything's going to work, and it's all going to be on the table now. Like, no, not even a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, they did announce Destiny 2, though. You get Destiny 2, the new thing, for free.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a big game. But again, the audience is already playing it somewhere.
Speaking of, you can now transfer your character from wherever you're playing it now. But even PS4.
But I feel like, why would someone do that?
Maybe if they're playing it on PC and then they just want to open up possibilities to play it elsewhere as well, that'd be a good choice.
I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. The whole thing is so confusing to me.
Well, there'll probably be another event at some point.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. They have to re-clarify everything.
There was also a release date of November. We got a month. Mm-hmm. No specific date yet, but yeah, generally underwhelmed with that announcement. You mentioned that you're going to get Stadia Pro. Dane was texting us. Yeah,
I'm going to get it just because I want to try it out and still see what it's like.
How do you plan on playing it? On your phone?
No, my laptop.
On your laptop?
Yeah. I guess I could try it on my phone. I have a Pixel, so
you could.
Well, they said Pixel 3 and 3A. I have a Pixel 2 XL.
Ooh. It'll
still run, I'm sure.
I Yeah, it'll probably run in a Chrome browser, maybe.
Yeah.
Or if not, Android is a big hackable mess, so I'm sure you could hack it to run. So.
Yeah, I'm not doing that to my phone. Just to run Stadia on a smaller screen than my laptop.
Yes. Yes. Is that anything more you want to say about Google Stadia? Be-dum, bum, bum, be-dum, bums.
I want to talk about, EA had all this stuff today. Really, I think we both just watched the Jedi Fallen Order.
Here's the thing. EA did not have a traditional conference, which makes it really hard to cover, because instead they just had hours and hours of gameplay. So for
a lot of games we don't really care about.
Exactly, for FIFA and Madden. And sure, those are great. They make money. But if you're listening to this podcast, that's not what you listen for opinions on, because we don't play those games. I do want to mention one news story before we talk about Star Wars, because that was the meat of what everyone was watching anything about EA play for. And this comes from IGN. It says, new EA original games from A Way Out feed devs announced at E3 2019. So they had a small video where they highlighted the creators, the teams from Jomei Games, who's doing... what's the game? Where they had the water, and it's an indie game. Goddamn shit.
The water, the indie game.
Oh, fuck. What's it called? It's probably somewhere in this article. Son of horseshit.
Apex Legends.
No.
It's like all about Jedi Fallen Order.
All about depression, and it's like a painterly art style.
Oh, God of War.
No.
I don't know. I have no idea. I actually know the game you're talking about, but I don't know what it's called either.
It doesn't matter. So, Jomei Games, Hazelight, who made A Way Out, Zoink, who made Fee, and Glowmade, who is making an action RPG called Rust Heart. And they talked about their games, how, like, making them is fun, blah, 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 and then they announced new parts of them. So, there are a few titles. Zoink Games is making a title called Lost in Random, and is a blend of strategy and action that explores the notion of chance and possibility set within a beautifully dark and vivid world. Hazelight is making something that didn't reveal much information other than it gives players a fresh new take on challenges of working together. So more of like that exploration of asynchronous play. And then Glowmade is releasing a co-op action RPG called Rust Heart that follows the player and their handmade robot sidekick as they adventure across vibrant alien multiverse. A mix of tactical action roleplay gameplay, player invention, and spray paint. I think it's cool that EA... I basically just wanted to mention that because I think it's cool that EA is still investing in EA originals and indies, and they're still making that like a push.
Mm-hmm. And to not have an event and still push for it, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Star Wars...
Really quick question before we get to Star Wars, just saw a headline that the Avengers game from Square Enix is coming to Stadia as well.
Oh, it is?
It is, yeah.
Oh, Crystal Dynam now. I can't frickin' wait to watch that on Monday night.
I know so little about it. I don't have any expectations, really.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. We saw a 13-minute gameplay demo that everyone was able to see online. I say like we saw it as if you're like in a back room.
Behind closed doors demo of on the internet.
Yeah. I was really impressed. It looks great.
I was impressed and concerned.
Okay, what's the concern? I'm curious.
If we want to start with the bad, because everything else so far we've talked about is shitting on these games. Just kidding. If we want to start with the bad, there are two things I'm concerned about. One, the moments between gameplay look like super generic third person going through a world. Oh, I'm going to crawl on some vents. I'm going to jump from thing to thing. There was wall running from Titanfall, which looked cool. Obviously, that's from Respawn. But I'm worried that the segments between combat are going to be boring and generic. And then the second thing is I'm worried I'm not going to care about the story or the characters. And obviously, I'm not supposed to have those fears quelled today. As they mentioned in the interview afterwards, they're like, yeah, we're literally saying zero about the story. We can't tell you anything. It's part of canon, but it's tight-lipped right now. So I'm concerned that I'm not going to care about these characters, but that the combat will be fun. Because the combat looks so fun.
The combat looks amazing. I am not concerned about either of those things.
Really?
I think that this is you think you saw a lot, but you have no idea.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Like the moments between combat where he's, going in between that little narrow passage, all that kind of stuff. Very generic stuff. But think about then the moment where he has the spinning turbine and he slows it down with the force so he can run across it. I think there's going to be a lot more things like that. I think platforming is going to be a big part of this game.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they were using force powers to control the environment in a few areas. I don't think it's going to... I think it's going to extend beyond what we just saw there.
Beyond.
I'd be surprised if it was otherwise. Beyond. And on top of the story and all that, they didn't bring back Star Wars characters. Like, they had the guy from Rogue One. I forgot his name.
Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually Forrest Whitaker. It was a sound-alike, but it was his character.
It sounded good enough, to be honest.
It did, yeah.
I did think, oh, that's Forrest Whitaker for a second.
I can't get on your ship because I just want to lay here and die.
The fact that they're bringing back characters like that makes me think they are tying it to the lore in some way.
Yeah.
Which means that there's probably going to be something more to the story. I have hopes for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about that combat. Because
that combat. So you mentioned force powers. Yeah.
Great.
They've got, so we saw force push to like shove things out of the way. We saw that a lot more with the environment than we did with combat. Mm-hmm. We've got the force pull, which I think were two of the coolest moments in this gameplay thing, where you can pull somebody to you from afar, and then you can stab them with a lightsaber as they get to you. Or
I think I know where you're going, is that when a blaster shot is fired, he can stop it. And he stopped a blaster shot, pulled a stormtrooper towards him, then threw the stormtrooper at the blaster shot, which killed the stormtrooper. That was so cool.
Killed him with his own bullet.
Yeah, and it seemed like there was almost like an improvisation to how you can use the powers together.
Yeah. And
that's what got me so pumped, is I'm like, oh, this is going to be a really dynamic action experience, I think.
Yeah. So they mentioned that the ability to freeze time like that. You're not necessarily freezing time, but you're freezing individual enemies. Because we saw that he froze one of the hunter people, purge soldiers, while he was still fighting the other guys. And that's new to kind of canon lore, or Star Wars canon, is that ability for the Force.
No, it's not. They
said it wasn't in it.
Kylo Ren did it to Rey.
Oh, you're right.
Episode 7.
You're right.
Did they say that was new?
They said that, it's kind of the time-stopping thing is kind of a hybrid between a push and a pull, and it's kind of new. Maybe it works differently than what Kylo Ren was doing.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Rey looked like she was kind of moving back and forth, like she was being pushed and pulled.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know. Man,
maybe they're lying
plagiarism for the Star Wars franchise. Kidding. No plagiarism.
But yes, that was super cool. And I think you're right. It's going to allow you for a lot of like improvisation in combat of how you want to handle all of these different powers together. And the lightsabers look great.
Yeah, the lightsabers are cool, but with force powers, really quickly, he got skill points a few times in the demo,
right.
Which means you're going to be using those skill points to probably level up your force powers. Conjecture right now, there's no way I'm wrong. That's obviously what's going to happen. Again, I just can't wait to see how those powers expand. Like, could you collect a few enemies at once and pull them towards you? Like, could you stop a few blaster shots, like Neo in Matrix Reloaded? Like all the bullets in front of him. Like, what's the extent? Is it just new powers, or is it going to be increasing the capabilities of your existing powers? I'm so excited right now. I'm actually really excited.
Yeah, it looks dope. Lightsaber stuff also looked super cool. Like, the acrobatics of doing it reminded me a lot of how smooth Spider-Man combat felt.
Yeah.
Being able to like easily do things that look really cool with just a few button presses. And then like the deflection, what it seems like maybe is that like you're holding a button maybe to block or to shield or something like that, and he's using the lightsaber while you're holding that button to deflect things back at people. And it's just how stylish they make it look and how easy they make it look is so cool.
Yeah, everything seems very seamless.
Yeah.
You really can't even see transitions and animations. It just is all seamless. It's beautiful to watch.
Yep. What about that little robot, really BD-01?
Oh, as soon as I saw him, I'm like, that's a Star Wars robot right
there.
It
is.
Yeah.
BD apparently stands for Buddy Droid.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
My first thought, though, seeing that droid on his shoulder like that, it's like, man, it's going to fuck his back up, like, big time.
He's going to need a chiropractor.
Yeah.
A Kylo Ren
to, like, lift him up a little bit and alleviate.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so that guy, so apparently he can hack things. He can give you health packs when you're low on health. I assume you're going to be able to power him up, too, with skill points. Or maybe things you find in the environment. I'm pumped.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that looks really good. And I was like Pokemon. I was kind of lackluster on the first trailer, like, oh, yeah, it looks like a Star Wars game. I don't know, we'll see. And now I'm super pumped.
Yeah,
it's always exciting when that happens.
Again, I'm just like, I'm hoping that we get more story than just like, I don't want it to be gameplay, 3-minute story cinematic. gameplay, and then like I want the gameplay to matter in the story as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's going to happen. I'm not really worried about the story not being great.
No,
I know, it's just there seems to be such an attention to detail in the environments and everything that I feel like they must have put the same care into the story. Again, conjecture. I don't know this, but I just kind of had this trust.
Look at you. You're turning around. Usually you're like, no, this game's going to be a piece of shit. Prove me wrong. And now
I did that to Stadia already.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, but not to Pokemon. I've been more positive this episode.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. I'm changing. So, what was it getting at? You just tripped me up.
There's such an attention to detail that you think it's going to carry over to the goddamn... Every environment
just felt Star Wars. There's no point where I'm like, this just feels like a generic, science fiction environment. It felt super Star Wars.
The SNES game like super Star Wars.
Super Star Wars. That's going to carry over. I just feel like that's got to carry over to the story. It's just got to.
Yeah.
Again, conjecture. I don't know, but I have faith.
And you got to have faith. George Michael, baby.
So that was E3 day -3-0.
Yes. So yeah, you know what? That might be EA's best conference that they've ever had, or at least in the last few years.
And we didn't even see most of what they showed
right.
off.
I think that's why it was the best, because we only watched the 15 minutes that mattered.
Yeah. There is no awkward, Command and Conquer mobile demo or anything like that.
There might have been in these 6 hours of streaming content they released today, but we don't have a fucking idea of what happened. So, yeah, that's great. We'll be back tomorrow with news on Microsoft and Bethesda with their big things. Oh, there will be more Star Wars news revealed tomorrow as well for Jedi Fallen Order at Microsoft.
Maybe story stuff.
Maybe
story trailer.
Maybe. And, we'll be having Trevor Bettis will be back to join us for that discussion as well.
It's going to be a great day tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Me too. I'm fucking pumped. What time is that? It's goddamn shit. Is it 10 a.m. Pacific time for Microsoft? Let's see.
No.
June 9th, 1
it's
p.m.
Like 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Pacific time. Oh, I've got the whole morning. What am I going to do with my life? And then Bethesda's 5:30.
I play a lot of games.
That's going to be late for you.
But it is going to be late for me, but I have adjusted my work schedule to account for it.
Very good. Very good. You want to watch the Devolver one too? Are we covering Devolver?
Maybe for the next days. We'll just kind of rope it in. Because it's like it starts at like 10
for you, it starts at 10 p.m., yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure it's also going to be like
Although
10 minutes.
Their event's only like, it's only going to be 15 minutes long. And it'll be hilarious.
Let's discuss
or at
it the
least
next day.
Ridiculous.
Let's discuss it the next day. Oh, yeah. Can't wait. Until next week. And not next week. Until tomorrow. Here's our usual sign-off. Oh, it's Gene!